Hello and welcome. Today I want to talk about some items that I use for filming my YouTube videos on the channel and go over briefly what they are and what they do. Here in the front here we have a couple items. Immediately in the front here we have a Panasonic GH4 and we have a wireless system, a Mix Pre-D, 2-channel audio mixer, and also a Zoom H6 on top. So this is like my B-roll camera. We can see on the right here we have the powering options, and that allows me to basically power this up the whole day and not worry about changing batteries in and out, although it does make for a very heavy setup. And we can kind of see the B camera punched in there on the recorder bag, which is over here in the background, which we'll get to in a few moments. So back to the GH4. Essentially we have power going to the camera, power going to the mixer here, and power going to our Zoom H6 recorder. So the flow path of receiving audio comes from this wireless hop I have here. It's a wireless Rodelink Filmmaker kit that's going into the mixer. The mixer is making sure the signal does not clip and we're getting enough of an audio signal into the path. The output is going into the Zoom H6 on top. It does have its Midside capsule. This is a 6-track audio recorder, so I record more than or about 6 tracks at the same time. And from the recorder it outputs into our camera for the scratch track here. So we have a scratch track on the camera, but we use the audio from the recorder. For reference, right now we're filming with the Panasonic GH6. It's set up in a similar manner, minus the actual front end mixer here. We just have, again, another wireless link here, and we have a Zoom H4 and Pro on the top. It's a 4-channel type of recorder as well, and we have the audio going into the GH6 right now. Let's go ahead and get a front view of this. So on the front we have a Nikon f1.4 prime lens. It's a 50mm lens with a 3/4 adapter, and we can see the front of the Rodelink transmitter, the side of the Mix Pre-D, and the side of the Zoom H6 field recorder. We get a top-down view here. So as you can see, there's multiple pots up there, gain trim pots, to control the audio input levels. So that's why I like that setup for a B-roll camera. Now let's pan over to our sound bag here. And this is not a professional setup by any means, but it's what I use to record audio and help with reviews on the channel. So let's start with the powering option down here. These are two Sony style NPF 970 batteries. They're aftermarket ones, but they work pretty well. We have a cable, a D-tap power cable going into a TA, I think 3 or 4F connector, female connector, into a remote audio battery distribution unit. Basically this distributes power from the battery pack across multiple types of items, including mixers and wireless labs. For today we only have it putting power into our sound devices 302 mixer at the top there, and our sound recorder, the sound devices 744T. We're not taking audio from this recorder for today, we're just showing as a demonstration. So let's begin with the brain of the unit. It's the mixer here in the front. That's a 302 mixer. Basically what it refers to is 3 inputs, 2 outputs, but in a pinch in the manual you can also use the return aux as a 4 and 5 input for lav mics. On the front here we have 3 types of gain knobs, or 6 rather. We have coarse gain and fine gain. The coarse are the black ones on top, and the fine gain are the 3 knobs in the center. We have a ballistic meter here, which is impressive for seeing audio levels in the daylight, as we can see. We have the monitor type of rotary dial for monitoring return and main audio on the mixer itself. And we also have our headphone gain knob as well. This is a versatile piece of kit. It's been out for about over 20 years now. And it's a little bit on the outdated side in terms of all the new fancy 2-in-1 type of recorder mixer type of units out there that have 32-bit float recording capabilities, all that stuff. I still use the older stuff here, and the 744T comes after the mixer, and that's a 4-track audio recorder. Again, older technology, almost 20 years old if I remember correctly. But basically it takes 4 inputs and you can output 4 different methods as well. Right now we're not outputting to anything but in the signal chain line or whatever you want to call it. It goes out to a camera maybe, or another audio backup recorder. In our case, it's going nowhere. We have the 302 mixer doing the routing of signals. So basically we have a smaller output coming from a tape type output, and we have this blue cable, which is a stereo cable. And that stereo cable is connected to our wireless setup here. Before we get into all the other stuff here, let's go into the Lectrosonics type of transmitter and receiver kit. Basically, we have a UCR210D UHF diversity receiver here. This receiver is capable of receiving multiple different types of frequencies in the Block 21 frequency list. As you can see, it has 2 antennas to make sure that it captures audio pretty decently and well. And these are B and C type connectors, so you can attach dipoles to it if you need to get more of a pinpoint and directional audio source. Now, the transmitter that I'm using to capture my voice with is a 200 series Lectrosonics type of UHF transmitter. It's also Block 21, so it's matched up with the receiver, and we're using a Tram TR 50 mic with a basic foam windscreen. Now, you're probably picking up the wind outdoors, but that's okay. We didn't opt for the furry dead cat type of cover on the lav mic. So that's what we're getting audio with. There's a lot of different features with the UCR210D that I won't go over in this video, but it is a fantastic way of capturing wireless audio. So that wireless audio goes into the 302, and if we so choose, it can be recorded into the 744T mixer. But for now, it's going to the 302, routed out via the blue cable into these 2 transmitters, which are the Rode Filmmaker kit transmitter and also the Rode New Shooter kit transceiver or transmitter. Basically, the Filmmaker kit is a wireless belt pack, a lavalier type of system, and that is going to our GH4, which we're getting audio from. And the New Shooter kit is also either a lavalier and or a XLR transmitter. So you can put an XLR connection on that. You can phantom power a mic with it if you like. So that's more for like a news kind of shoot where they have the mic in front of them and they kind of do an E&G style type of news gathering or whatever. So you can use that for that. These are a digital system. They're not on the professional level, they're more on a consumer level. Basically, they're 24-bit by 44.1 kilohertz digital processing, and they have 128-bit encryption. So it's a digital signal on the 2.4 gigahertz band. And what that means is there's different kinds of bands. This is a UHF receiver. This is what I would call a SHF or super high frequency type of system. So these 2 bands are very different. So they probably won't interfere as much with each other, although I do not recommend pitting 2 transmitters so close together when it comes to wireless setups, because they can interfere with each other quite a lot, in fact. So this is not the optimal setup, but for the demonstration purposes of this video, don't do what I'm doing. Basically, we have a wireless hop from the Filmmaker kit to the GH4, and from this one we have that going to the GH6, which we're filming with right now. And like I said before, we're using a Zoom H4n Pro to record local audio via the XLR capsule and also the wireless lav system, the hop. So that's what I'm using for recording video and making reviews for YouTube. Whether or not this is an actual professional setup is very debatable. It probably isn't, but gets the job done for what I'm doing. And I thought it would be kind of interesting for you guys to see what I'm using and how I'm using it. Hopefully it gives you some ideas too. Anyway, that's all I have to say for now. There's more I could say, but thanks for watching and enjoy the day.